And welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host, Mike, and with me I have Kage. Kage, what's going on?
Interesting night. I was into some program before we started the show, but let's get through the stocks.
Okay. One of the first stocks we're going to talk about is JOBY. Joby Aviation. Last tick was $4.17. Going to the chart, it looks pretty normal throughout the year of 2022. It hasn't had a bad year. You're seeing some resistance starting to come up now towards the middle of October here. Going on to what would you say they do here? They engage in the transportation and development of all-electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. It intends to operate commercial passenger aircraft beginning in 2024. The company was founded by don't know how to pronounce the name and not going to butcher it, and headquartered in Santa Cruz, California. Going on to stock twits, because that's where the real traders are at, Kage. What do you have on the twits?
How about this one from Jahush? He says, Joby, Delta likes it at $5. Toyota likes it at $10. Hard not to love it at $4 for dudes radars over at ASTS and RKLB. So I think these are other stocks that are linked to Joby, I think.
Okay, and what else do you have there?
How about this take from Noble George? He says, Joby, so a recap on partnerships. For manufacturing, Joby are working hand in hand with Toyota, lead investor with $400 million invested, and one of the world's greatest manufacturers. For routing, platform, and user experience, they are partnered with Uber, another investor. Mm-hmm. For early flight tests, they are partnered with the U.S. Department of Defense, a customer, in a contract worth up to $75 million, recently expanded. So for further acoustic testing, they partnered with NASA in a successful 4-year study. They have partnered with ANA Holdings, the largest Japanese airline, and Toyota to develop an aerial ride-hailing service in Japan. Partnered with SK Telecom, largest telecom network in Korea, and TMAP to bring aerial rail hailing to South Korea. This is a very connected company, Joby. So
I think we covered this.
I guess people really want to have those flying cars, I guess, right?
Yeah. And if you can recall last year, I believe we covered this stock, and we were saying, I think, to put it on a watch list with all the. I remember you commenting about that. I think as we go to this website, you're going to see the modes of transportation, and I believe there was one where they were doing some testing and there was some issues, so maybe they worked out their issues, because you have two heavy hitters coming here. You have the DoD relationship, and then you also have Delta. Delta put a plug on their website saying that Joby Aviation partner, Delta Joby Aviation partner to pioneer home to airport transportation to customers. This is huge right here. If this can come out if this could cut off some of the the time and things like that, and the rush around, and there you go. Joby operates all electrical vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, enabling the fast, quiet, sustainable city-to-airport service by air. Delta to set up upfront equity investment in Joby is $60 million. The total investment of $200 million. Possible further milestones are achieved. Initial launch anticipated the first eVTOL service to market, the largest New York to Los Angeles, building on years of Delta investment in those cities. The partnership will deliver premium differential service for Delta customers alongside Joby Standards airport service. Kage, what do you have on the twits?
Here's a take from Bright Stars. He says, Joby bullish. XPIV has been working on the same thing in China. The tech is there and here and is coming, and it will be everywhere. EVs will change. Gas vehicles will change. What was the world in 1950, 60, 70? Definitely not what it is like today. The British has a jetpack army forming. The government is getting involved with Joby. Industry is evolving.
Industry is evolving, but you could also have something change in the minute of an eye. Yes, airlines, again, deepening its commitment to transformation future travel. The airlines embarked on a multi-year, multi-market commercial and operational partnership with Joby Aviation to deliver transformational services. I did that beginning in New York and Los Angeles. As a part of the first kind of arrangement, the companies will work together to integrate Joby operational Delta customer-facing channels, providing the customers travel with Delta through New York, Los Angeles, the opportunity to reserve a seat seamlessly through zero operating admission, short-range journey, and to the airports and booking Delta travel. Kage, do you think with this, you think people are actually looking at it that way as far as with admissions when they're doing it? I think they're looking at its convenience without having to sit on the road, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think to an extent, yes. I mean, I think people would like to have the idea of ordering your plane tickets online and having a air car take you from your home to the airport.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
then
what they
just
would be
get on
looking
your
at.
plane.
Exactly. Yeah, I think exactly that's where they're looking at. I'm thinking the last thing they're going to think of is, hey, I'm worried about the airport, or sorry, I'm worried about the air. What they're worried about is if they're going to have to sit in a car for 2 hours and stuck in traffic with a guy they don't know, So,
Yeah.
or gal. The partners will work together to create differential premium experience for Delta customers, featuring seamlessly booking, simplified transit, and greater time savings. This will run alongside with Joby standard airport service in priority markets. The partnership will mutually exclusively across U.S., UK for 5 years following the commercial launch, with potential to extend the period there. What else do you have on the twits, Kage? Because all the alphabets are basically parroting this Delta story, so I accept.
Here's a bearish take from a Delta variant. He says bearish. He says Chinese train wreck. Come over to Joby if you're interested in flying cars. Delta Airlines just made an investment and will provide air taxi service from LAX and New York airports sooner than later. What is doing?
He has an actually decent point. What else do you have? That is good. That's a really good take. And for some of you that don't like the Bears, there, what they say, the Bears have their voice on this show. So because we cover the pros and the cons. What else do you have on the twits?
Let's see. How about this take from Critical? He used to be called Vertical, actually, and he has his little chart in the comments, I think. He says, VWAP crossover. Joby is trending upwards and broke over VWAP. Look for entries after pullbacks as long as it stays over VWAP. Float 345.8 mil. Short float 9.8%. 5 minutes delayed, and this was 9:45, 9:43 this morning.
Going on the website, it looks obviously good because it's got decent backers and it's not a chump change stock. So it says flying with us might feel more like getting into an SUV than boarding a plane. They have a vertical takeoff landing, zero emission standard, zero operating emissions, one pilot, 4 riders, 150-mile range, 200 mile an hour speed, top speed, and a 10+ years in development. So Kage, with this, did you see anything about as far as traveling and things like that? Are they going to have their certain airspace where they got to stay, where no one's going to cross over to them, like anything like that? They say anything like that or no?
I haven't necessarily seen anything like that, but I would imagine that the bird paths and avoiding tall buildings is probably going to be priority for them to.
It looks like we found our answer right here on this little map. As you can see, it shows you the trip heliport to JFK Airport. You go and you take off right here, and then it lands in JFK Airport right there. So the heliport, it follows that track there. It says their aerial rideshare will combine the ease of conventional rideshare power flight a green alternative to driving, booking the affordable touch of an app. That's going to be pretty sick with it there. What else do you have on the twits?
Let's see. How about this take from Upside Scout? He says, Joby, still overlooked and unseen. Will continue building position here. Looking for additional news to drive out shorts and light a timed fuse.
Yeah, it looks decent. Everything as far as that goes. The only concern is the downturn with the economy, going forward. You could be able to get in on this at a lower price, depending as things start to deteriorate. With some of the statements that came out today from Jamie Dimon and things like that, with his puffball interview on CNBC. Did you see that at all?
No. I didn't see that one. No. There were a lot of the things I've seen, but not that one.
Well, just in a nutshell, he basically said that the credit markets are crunching down and possible panic here, and that ETFs and maybe a country possibly could have some economic crashing, basically, or something to that. He beat around the bush with, and he basically told companies to go. If you need money, go out and raise it, and if you need cash, go out and get it. So it wasn't that comforting. And the reason why I call it a puffball interview, not by Jamie Dimon, but just of CNBC, is because they could have pushed him more into what he was, not that what everybody knows what that meant, but I'm just saying overall. But for this is futuristic, and you could see more dollar riskies as far as government dineros get put into this. You never know. But I like what they got going on so far. It's definitely on the watch list.
I think it's a good idea to pursue that technology, sure, but it's going to be a while before the rest of us have access to those flying cars.
Yeah, and I know everybody likes to get all excited about all this stuff and everything, but we do have to remember there is a power crunch right now that people are going through.
And we also need to be realistic as far as what we can expect and what's going to be more profitable short-term and long-term.
Yep, and that's the thing, is that some of us are in a dream world, and we don't know when we're going to wake up and see a more downturn than we've already seen. So going on to the next stock we have is PHI Group Incorporated. Last tick was 0.0019. 19er. This is one of the more popular stocks you saw over the past 2 years. Some people called it the meme stock or whatever because it has a lot of retail traders in it. But who gives a crap? It's old Henry. Hopefully he's doing well. He had his T-shirts he made and things like that. People were making of him. They really like the guy. But going into the chart, obviously you have a downhill since 21 because that's where all the hype was at right there, Kage, as you can see, when all the excitement. And then the big sell-off came out because everybody panicked, which they should have, they should have held the line. But, what are you going to do, So the correction and recorrection. Going to the chart there, going on to you saw the resistance pop up towards the beginning of September and then towards the end of August. And then now you're seeing resistance coming up again. We're going to find out a little bit how. Going into what would you say they do here? They engage in mergers and acquisition activities. The firm aims to acquire established operating business to selective industries, invest in various ventures that may potentially create significant long-term value for shareholders. It provides corporate finance services, including merger and acquisition advisory consultation for client companies. It's headquartered in Las Vegas, Nevada. What do you have on the twits?
How about this take from Dark Knight Trader 1? This was 6:50 p.m. roughly today. He says, BHIL, glad to be back with Fillionaire Crew. This S is getting real. Getting 125K more shares when the market opens. All I can afford now. Load 'em up, Pilgrim.
That was actually a good take. I like this group a lot, just because they're very fun in what they come up with. I'm gonna have to join you on the twits with in a second here soon because there's not too much news. Have you seen on there any news that why this will be breaking out? The only thing I have from the 6th right here is that the complete acquisition of disposition of assets, financial statements, and exhibits for Form K on September 30th. That was a post from Market Screener, so it has that. You also have, let's see, that's junk news. Okay, what else do you have on the twits?
How about this take from Stonk X Lord? He said, PHIL, it's great blocking all the bears and people who mention bears. I'm genuinely happy for the handful of serious people on here just trying to make some money. Hope we all make it. Henry will set us free.
Told you, everybody freaking likes Henry, man. So we're trying to figure out why this was trending. I'll dig through if you want to keep on reading comments, and I'll see what we have here. So go ahead and keep on rolling.
Okay, how about this? Here's a bear take from JPRP22. He says, PHIL. He says, PHIL, bearish. Fair trader calling bears idiots just because he copy and paste nice financial lexicon that make him smart. Actually, how can a huge bag holder be smart? It's like having a donkey criticizing animals with big ears.
Yeah, I never got that why people that just sold out early or just gave up, they come back and they just like to ruin people's party. I mean, if people like what they're trading, even if they lost, it is what it is. Some people are loyal, and that's how they're going to be. It's no need to dog on them. Did you see having fun now from 116 that time when he posted?
Having fun?
Yeah, having fun now.
Oh, unbanned.
He just said had the second highest volume, 20% increase on the move, which is a possible golden crossover happened in the too distant future. We see some short-term new highs
$1 bills, y'all.
At the end of the year. And Camille, we're back on the PHI Group. Do you remember this stock?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you remember?
What's the deal with that guy counting all that money, dude?
Yeah, he's so
like,
that's
what I do when I go to the club.
It's probably the main guy in charge, old Henry there. So such happening to company, you'd be a fool if you did not hold your share. Someone else made $1.5 billion bet on Phil's success. I'm riding this till he said he's the PHI Lioneer. What do you got?
How about this take from Sam Call 11? This is 2:28 p.m. today. He says, PHIL, it's just beyond me how incompetent bulls can post we finish higher and find a way to gloat about it. People realize that sells again outnumbered buys today. All it took was a $57 trade to make it finish at 19. If one wants to say it finished higher, fine. But please don't embarrass yourself with a small late trade of $57 and then twist the narrative to finish high. Just twist the narrative it finished higher. How incompetent can one get? Facepalm.
I actually that wasn't a bad take, Cameo, because I mean you do get some people that are like, yeah, I did this, and it's like, yeah. I thought that was pretty funny. What else do you got there?
Here's one. This is a long take from Gobbler, but it has a bear take, and I don't necessarily see his chart in the comments, but it's a long comment.
What's that, Camille?
I said, I wonder what Gobbler's gobbling on.
Well, maybe it's the Gobbler Mitch McConnell. I don't know. Anybody know him?
No idea.
So you had a post from Doka Buy Brand. He just puts, dear. He had a. This is from the PHI Group 9 minutes ago. It says on there, and this was at 10:32 a.m. this morning. 5-year shareholders and investment community anticipation of the imminent file of the 10Qs will host a Zoom conference on Wednesday, 7/28. Do you think that's what's driving this up a little bit? As people are wondering what there's that speculation of the 10Qs?
Probably.
And then the Zoom call, someone thinks something's going down, maybe that something's good, and so it's driving this up and driving the message boards. Because now everybody's all coming in here, you know.
Yep.
I mean, this is kind of a forum where people can basically argue,
Let's go
debate,
Dodgers.
and basically post what they see. Of course,
Looks like guys on the message volume there. I think what's driving this is just that conference call that guy posted there 9 minutes ago. That was at 10 a.m. This morning, letting people know about Wednesday. I think that there's speculation that there's going to be some news coming out that I don't know what kind of news. I'm just saying, I'm speculating myself because it could be a fake post, and maybe that's what's driving the volume and the message boards up. What's your guys' take?
I think it's mostly along the lines of this stock has always been popular, and just the amount of trading that's been happening in the last few months and everything is starting to catch on, and it's staying relatively stable for where it is.
I think a more reliable stance would be is that Taiwan Semiconductor keeps on going down, and it went from 145 down to 64, and that's not good for the global economy. So, and I know this stock is the stock that we're talking about. PHI is located in that region, so it can't bode well for anything when that stock that basically gives you a stance of what the global economy is doing right now, guys. The country also, that country dominates the chip market, so that's basically where you're going as far as if this semiconductor is slowing down. That mean worldwide. That means we're the first time in history that all of since China has entered into the world economy, that we have China, the U.S., and Europe all headed into severe recession. So that's just something to keep in mind when buying these things and trading and things like that, just to keep, not to get anybody down or anything. What's your guys' take? Anything, or just move on to the next?
I'm ready to move on to the next one. I think we covered it pretty well.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next.
And you're looking at graphs and trying to interpret data and understand what's going to be in demand and what's going to be not so much in demand.
Well, you need semiconductors to freaking make the world go around. If that demand is down, that means the freaking world economy is toasting, like crashing, dude. That's a bellwether. You know what I'm saying? That's like Ohio and Florida, like in an election. That's a bellwether for the economy.
Well, yeah, it is. It
would
is.
be like,
I was just thinking about some things like
it would be like toilet paper.
and understanding like how energy gets transported from one place to another.
It's almost like the milk analogy in freaking Walmart. Less people are buying the gallon milk, and they're buying the half gallon instead because they can't afford the gallon. They're cutting that out in their that's showing up in Walmart's receipts right now. So just something to run by. It's probably worse than it was before, but anyway. The next stock, guys, we have is RGBP, Region Biopharma Incorporated. Last tick was 0.0063. Going to the chart, well, you're starting to see a little bit resistance here coming back up. Not as good as 2021. Something's happening today. We're going to find out. The message boards what's the watchers on this one there, Kage?
I'm seeing for the most part a mix so far, but mostly bulls for this stock. Let's see. Let's take a comment here from Green Day. He says, RGBP, I'm personally giving this to the end of the first quarter for a substantial monetary movement. If none, then I'm taking 75 to 90% out and moving on with my life. This is a safe place, so I just thought I'd share.
Okay. So they're small molecules targeting cancer and autoimmunity. This is the Region Biopharma pipeline. This is another biopharmaceutical stock that we're talking about. It's in the cheaper seats, meaning they still have a lot of funding and a lot of breaking to go. Something must be going down, and we'll cover that, or it could just be speculation like the other one, as far as because we saw in the news, people were anticipating about that meeting. We're going to go in and see what's going on here. So what do you have on the twits so far, as far as people talking about things and things like that here?
Here's a take from a Plus member on Stock Twits. His name is Love Monster CG. He says RGBP bullish. Closing chart October 11th, 2022. So we suddenly and surprisingly flipped the script today. Instead of testing the low of 0.0051 in the final minutes, we ended up testing the 0.0061 high of day and broke out to close above it. Very interesting. And we closed back up to the 100-day moving average.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we will see more good things for the rest of this week. We all deserve it. That's for sure. Hee hee. Best wishes, everyone, for 2022. And he's got his little
2022, man. It's
comments with
2023.
various data going up and down. So
if you're new to this, obviously proceed with caution. It is a sub. There's a plug right here. But if you're going to put it in your back pocket to hold on to it for the long haul,
Put it in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, you could just put it in the pipe and smoke it, and then wait this one out, or it could develop into nothing. But they have something going on. This was a plug on the 5th, a news break. This is kind of huge news for this company. Region Biopharma Incorporated files a provisional patent on CAR T cell capable of attracting and educated naive T cells to kill cancer. That's interesting. Now today, the provisional patent application for U.S. PTO entitled Enhancement T Cell Harming to Tumors through Augmentation for Shermakin Responsiveness Activation Dependent Shermakin Secretion with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So they're seeking a patent with this. Does that kind of generate the juices a little bit with you guys as far as to think about watching this thing a little more?
Blueberry juice.
Are you're salivating for blueberry juice, thinking that you might put this on your watch list?
Lemonade blueberry juice, yes sir.
Okay, what about you, Kage? Is this coming a little bit of interest? What you're seeing here?
I mean, what they do is interesting. The chemokins, the chemicals that they're experimenting with and producing. That's good news. And basically, biopharmas are always going to be a safe bet for putting your money into for stocks, because we all need to go to the doctor, and new technology is always in the process of becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah, I think you guys should call Ben Dusky and ask him about the chemicals.
Oh yeah, what they did to his brain for sure. That would be interesting there. The patent application discloses novel means of generating CAR T cells upon activation, stimulating production of various T cell specific compounds, which act as molecular beacons, they're calling, surrounding the T cells and instruments to kill the cancer cell. According to the industry report, over global CAR T cell market for indicators was worth $1.7 billion in 2021. The forecast of $2.4 billion. By 2028, the market is expected to reach $25 billion with a compound annual growth of 46.6%. This makes CAR T cells one of the fastest growing and potentially profitable therapeutic areas in oncology. Guys, this is kind of I'm not getting too excited. I mean, I'm not going crazy, but this is interesting news by this stock, wouldn't you say, for what they're doing?
Yes, sir, it is.
Would you say, Cameo, that writing news waves and things like this for this particular stock, considering this thing they've got going here, could maybe add up to other things going forward? Or do you think this is just another plug by the alphabets here, just plugging this thing?
The alphabets are just plugging it.
Yeah. Okay, that's not a bad take. Do you think the alphabets are plugging this too much there, Kagi, and that's what's driving the volume?
They always are. There's so much money with big pharma. There's just so much. There's so much at stake with their monopoly on that.
It looks like that despite the significant market size of CRT cells, this approach only show to benefit the so-called liquid tumor, which is leukemia and lymphoma. Overall reasons known, unknowns, solid tumors such as breast, lung, and colon, and skin and kidney cancer have not benefited. So there you have it on that. We're going to go to the website. What else do you have on the twits? I want to hear some sentiment of what the real traders are saying while I check out this pipeline and see what else I could offer you guys as far as
how about this one from Get Buckets 08444? He says RGBP down 13K, 66% on this since I entered last year. Averaged down multiple times, but keeps tanking like clockwork. I personally don't understand the unrelated optimism in this group.
Okay.
Like, yo, I've been here too. Even with news, it doesn't recover to levels we had last year. It still hurts to know I didn't sell at 0.08. Sad face.
Yeah, I get his point. It is. I mean, the problem is that what have we said before, guys? That we've tried to get to people is that everything was overvalued from at the 38, and everybody thought we were crazy and everything like that. And then now you get to reality land, and unfortunately, I don't think we've seen the end of it. But it's still, I like what they got going on. I mean, you can't get too down. They have with HEMA Accelerate, they've got clinical 2 trials right here. And no, I don't own stock, guys, in this company. So I'm just letting you know that ahead of time before that gets plugged out. Breast cancer, they've got a study on that one. 10 advanced breast cancer patients, efficacy endpoint 6 to 12 months. Then they got Differon C, gene slicing, telomeres and genomic integrity. So the clinical trials right here. You could see all the trials they got going on. So they've got several things in the hopper. Some of these things take funding too. Maybe it's lack of funding. I don't know. So what else you got on the twits? What are they saying? I'm gonna go on there and check because I'm just interested to see what other comments are on here.
Here's a take from Rodney8, and this was yesterday.
Rodney or Romney?
Rodney.
Not Romney.
I said Rodney. He says RGBP. Wow, back in the 5s again. I'm sorry, but I just don't have any more ammo buy anymore. I bought at every dip and every rip.
Yes.
Only so much extra funds one has to keep putting in without putting his financial well-being in jeopardy. With what the MMs have done, not only to the stock but many others, is straight up criminal bullcrap. Hope they burn in hell.
He's not. That's not that. I mean, that's not that far of a reach. I would have to agree with his comment there. I totally agree. What else do you have on the twits? I'm just scanning for news while you're looking at the comments here. I love these comments. They're great. Love the retail traders. Love them.
Let's see. How about this one from Cosmic Bees? He says, RGBP, is today a holiday somewhere? I tried to transfer some funds into my E-Trade account, and it said it would process tomorrow. Says the transfer falls on a non-processing day, holiday, or weekend. As a result, your transfer has been scheduled for the next available processing date. What did I miss? I don't see this being a holiday or a weekend. I can see his point there.
Yeah.
Just people wanting to have that extra weekend day for Columbus Day, which honestly, I think Columbus was just a terrible person, and he should not have a holiday dedicated to him.
No, I would agree. And also, just for Cameo's viewing, you have the blue suede hooked on a feeling there.
Hmm.
So
You got me hooked on a feeling.
we'll have to see how this one plays out. See where it takes you to, things like that. Look at the news waves, and I'm sorry for anybody that unfortunately we have to go through this. So, but we're all in it together. So you've seen some of the news from before. We'll see if it pops down the road and see if we're back on this one. I'm sure this is not going to be the first time that we talked about this. So just stay out of the dumps and watch the pumps, and don't make it a dog show. And good night now.
Let's go Dodgers.
Good night.